Hi Vernon, good to have you.
Hi,
Am I
Premjit.
audible?
Yes. I'm very sorry for the delay.
No worries. I think a little bit of a tech issue in this
Yes, in
time
fact,
of high technology. I think JBG, Endura, Nishant, and all will be okay, giving us a little bit of a benefit for being little technologically
yes,
challenged. I have given a brief introduction. I hope you've been able to hear that. In terms of, I told people about, how I consider you as one of the people who actually started the running movement in Calcutta, and not only started, but you gave it a structure, you gave it a form of organization, and that has really benefited hundreds and hundreds of runners in the city. And most of the running groups today probably, emulate the initial success and strategy of Kolkata Running Squad. So Vernon, over to you. I just wanted to ask you, what made you realize the importance of fitness and take up running? So let's start with the Q&A.
okay. Thanks, thanks to you and JBG 101 Endura for this nice Sunday morning chat. And yes, let's start the journey. In fact, like journey is it's a pretty long journey. In fact, it's not a year or two. It started way back, I would say, in 2009, which was after a 10-year or
Mhm,
11-year hiatus of no physical activity. Basically, I was living a more of a sedentary lifestyle
mhm,
from after my completion of my MBA days. Till MBA days, yes, I was pretty active.
mhm,
We had the CRPF group who were staying behind our hostel. So I used to run 400 meters loop, 6 loops every day morning, and then some kind of workouts with them and all those things. That was in the early mornings before the college started. So
mhm,
that used to be the last stint of physical activities way back in 96. Then almost 10, 12 years into the corporate world, totally lost any kind of physical activity apart from the traveling, of course. So the weight kept on piling. I was about 65, 66 kilos during before that, and then it kept on piling. I do not know. Then I hardly started looking at the weights. So only whenever you go by a train or something, you check your weight at that. Then okay, it may say 84, then 86. Then even stopped looking at that. Then suddenly one fine day I was I think about 106 or 7. So that's when things started getting a little bit on the downhill. Wherein one fine day while traveling, I puked only while sitting in a car traveling from one place to another place in Delhi. So I had to immediately, it was somewhere near Saket, got admitted in
mhm,
the hospital. And Delhi, like you immediately you have to check this, check that, check everything, kidney, heart, everything. Luckily, a complete checkup was done, and they had
mhm,
cleared of any other ailment, and they told it's more of a gastritis. You have to walk about 3 kilometers every day. That was the recommendation by the prescription by the doctor. So that was there in the mind. I have to start doing this activity of 3 kilometers in a day. So during that time, uh, there was one such thing, something called as the corporate clashathon, wherein teams from India go and participate in a run internationally. It's not a run only; it's a run, a cycling, rowing. Plus, it's basically called the brain and the brawn games. So I was quite good at all these
mhm,
crosswords, Sudoku, chess, and other things. So I thought, okay, I would somehow qualify and get into the team to represent our country. Maybe 5, 6 teams are going from our country. So I thought I would somehow get in. Because I also know a person from Microsoft also was doing it, and that lady was pretty good in all these crosswords, Sudokus, and all. So I cleared all of them, but they had a mandatory physical test, fitness test. I failed in that, and I was quite. It was quite shameful at that point of time. Oh my God! Like when you cleared everything with pretty good colors, you are able to do rapid chest and everything, but not able to do this simple fitness test. They called something called as a burpee and some squats within a particular number within a particular time, 1 minute, 2 minute. I couldn't do it, and I did not know what was all that. So that played in my mind. So that was in 2010. So I thought, okay, now is the high time to get into some kind of fitness. Plus, there was a doctor's recommendation. And that's when one fine day, I was walking in an ambience mall, which they say like you go from end to end in Gurgaon, 5 floors, you finish about 3 kilometers. So I thought that day will be the first day on an evening after office, because we consider ourselves always busy and we don't give time for, because fitness is something else, right? It's an additional activity. We don't give time for fitness. So it's some additional activity. When will I wear a fitness clothes and do all those things? Like from my office clothes, let's do that ambient small walk. Ground floor once, then next 4 floors once. So I'll finish 3 kilometers on the way back home. So that's when I went. There was somebody with a pamphlet waiting, and he told, "Why don't you go to the fifth floor? There is a gym called Fitness First. You just go and see. Nothing you have to pay." And we definitely like anything which is free. So nothing you have to pay. Then went in, and it was a
Mhm.
Fitness First India. It was a huge club, one of the largest clubs in India. So it was the fitness training center. So they told first 3 days we'll assess your fitness and all those things. So they gave certain things, made me do some small a biking, a spinning, and some treadmill run and all, and a few exercises. And they told, yes, you can definitely do better. And it felt good. So that's when I started, went second day,
Mhm.
then third day. Then okay, then you are doing good. You also get that plus feeling that yes, you are improving somewhere. So why not I join? So they told, okay, you join. So from that day, it was in October 2010. I joined, and where I failed that test for the corporate class run was in August 2010. So after 2 months, I got into this. Exactly 1 year. The next year, we had our qualifications. I passed through obviously the brain part of it, and the brawn part also. I was able to do all the burpees, whatever they wanted. Everything I did it in a good flying colors. So then I got into the team. Then the journey started of training. Then they told, okay, you have to run 1 kilometer, 2 kilometer, then cycle 10 kilometers. So we used to hire a bike. So there were a lot of bikes which were on hire in Gurgaon, like so good sport bikes. We used to hire a bike and do that.
Mhm.
So started doing that, a couple of months of training, and that's when we started hitting some good kilometers in biking, about like 30 kilometers, 40 kilometers. I felt running may not
Mhm.
be my cup of tea because more than 1 kilometer, 2 kilometer makes me tired. Cycling I was enjoying. So finally we got into the team. We moved to Bentota. It's an island in Sri Lanka. So it's a 3 day event wherein you have to do some running, you have to do some cycling. Cycling will be 30, 40 kilometers uphill or in some marshy lands. Running somebody else. It's a team of 5 people. So somebody will be doing the running. So I have to do solve a Sudoku puzzle so as to get the keys for the bike. Then I take the bike and go up the bike. Finish the biking, then I have to solve a crossword or something. And then the person who's finished the running, he will hand over something to me. Then I continue the next activities. So when I go there to the next activity, we would find about 5, 6 logs and a rope. You have to make a raft and then cross a small river. So that's about 2, 3 kilometers. And I was good at rowing. Rowing
Mhm.
was, I don't know, I practiced a lot of that and trained for it. So for about a year. So I was taking part of the running, the cycling and the running part and the rowing part, sorry. In the meanwhile, on day one of our
Mhm.
runners, the key runner entered. So they asked me to take his part as well. So then I was substituting as a runner, then a biker, as well as doing the rowing part. So all these three activities actually, like, it was quite strenuous. 3 days, day, night, even at 10 o'clock, we used to get a chit. Okay, this is what you have to do. So it was quite strenuous of 3 days of activities. And finally, we came through, and the judge
Mhm.
was Srinath, Javagal Srinath and his group of team. Pretty strict
Oh,
judges. The
very
Indian Army
interesting.
were there, so they were also fighting. But Indian Army were always left in the lurch because they used to start a bit late. They were not able to solve those puzzles and all to get, or the Scrabble or the board games to get the start point. So we always had a lead. And finally, we finished second in the competition. Microsoft came in first, and few other some Sri Lankan companies also were there, and other companies, they came in down the lane. So it was a huge moment for us in front of about audience, about 200 odd athletes, and coming second. So when I landed back in India, in Delhi, I checked my weight. When I went in, I was 85.5 or 86 kgs. When I came back, I was 80 kilos. So that gave me a huge boost. So this kind of physical activities, though I
Boost.
was from 105, I brought down to this level. Further in 4 days I was able to come, because it was a lot of activities were in India. So then the process went on, and I was able to complete more physical activities in the gym, as well as the gym also had certain small runs, 3 kilometer runs, 5 kilometer runs. So I took part in all those activities. We used to come in the top 3, 4. One fine day there was
Wow.
by the
Very
time I
interesting.
came to about say 69 or 70 kgs. One fine day there was a run organized by a company called Running and Living. It was at the Booth circuit. Being an F1 fan myself, I really
Hmm.
love to go to the Booth circuit and run in the Booth circuit. What more, like, because Booth circuit was banned from motorsports, so it was used for running. So
Yeah,
one
yeah,
kilometer,
yeah.
one loop is 5.112 kilometers. So two loops is 10.24 kilometers. So went there and I ran my first
Hmm.
ever 10K. I've never run beyond 4K at any point of time. So first time, like in a continuous, even those 3 days of running also in Bentota was like a few rounds of 3K, then a break, do something else, then again 3K. So continuous 10K I've never done any point of time in one shot.
Very interesting.
So that was the time I did, and it took me about, I think, 53 minutes. And I think I was about 10th or 11th in my age category. The person who conducted the event told, yes, now you should take up running. You are really good. As a beginner, starter, first time run at a 53 minutes, you should. So that gave me the confidence. Why not we get into running as well? So this is where I started the running
Hmm.
and moved into, by the time corporate career moved me into Calcutta in 2014. So this is
Hmm.
where you are asking the running journey here. And in 2014, when I started,
Correct.
came here and started running, I find there was no one who was running at, because normally we used to wake up at 4:30 and start the run at
Running in.
5, finish by 6:30. First day, nobody was there. I asked anybody which is the best area to sightsee as well as run. They told Victoria. So I prepared the previous night to get into Victoria. The day I reached Calcutta, second day I started running. So no one was there. Second day I ran no one. Third day I met a
Yeah,
60-year-old
and
man.
today. No, sorry, I was just saying that since 2014 you made Victoria your, it's like your lair, and you are most often spotted tearing down Victoria. So
Yeah.
you maintained your loyalty to that area. I think it's a very beautiful place to run. Yeah, but please continue. Yeah.
So that's when we met a 60-year-old man, Mr. Arun Kumar. Then I met Nishant. Then one by one, we started like 2 people, 3 people. We had a 3-member WhatsApp group. That is when we started a WhatsApp group in 2014. So then 4 member. Then slowly we added. Prior to that, I checked up when I landed in Calcutta. Is there any running groups? There was nothing. Then they told there is something on Google. Reebok Running Squad was there. But Reebok Running Squad had 3 trainers and only one person was running. Like there were more trainers than the person who actually was running. So I joined them to run, but there was no one else. So and they were also closing shop somewhere in 2014 December. So once that was over, then there was nothing else. There was a huge gap. So somebody had to do something. So I thought, why not I take this mantle onto myself, start this. So that's when we started a WhatsApp group into running, and then we slowly added members as and when people saw us running along just around Victoria, then a small loop. Then we used to come all the way to Oberoi and then again Victoria, like every day one by one. First day up to Red Road to
Hmm.
Victoria, second day up to Oberoi to Victoria, third day up to Lalit, then kept on increasing the spans. And every time it's around Victoria. So someone or the other used to see, then they used to join us. Then that's when things started really picking up. Then we started our own event, like at Kolkata Running Squad. We started one event wherein we called all the runners of Calcutta, tried to contact on Facebook here and there. Anybody who's in Rajarat, who's in Salt Lake, all the corners of Calcutta, come. We'll have a relay event. So you bring 2 more people. We may know only one person. You bring 2 more people. So 3 people do 30 kilometers. So that kind of an event. So that was in October on 2015. So that's when we on Gandhi Jayanti we
Hmm.
started it. So that run we had about so close
Correct.
to 70, 80 people at Victoria assembling, taking a pictures, run, and that actually catapulted the running scene in entire Calcutta. My
Yeah,
journey
yeah,
and this running journey,
yeah.
that's where it.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, since you've been associated with this sport for such a long time, Vernon, and we were earlier when we were chatting, we were discussing that there are so many runners, experienced runners, new runners. How important is it to, in your opinion, how important is it to have a proper structured plan when you decide to take up running with any degree of seriousness? Where I'm coming from is, should you focus on structure so as to be injury free, run longer, run better? What are your thoughts about having a structured plan when it comes to running or cycling or anything for that matter, Vernon?
Good. Right that you brought out this particular point. See, when we started this running scene itself in Calcutta, like I was having some kind of a training out there in Delhi when I came in. So on strength training, something we had called as body pump. On body pump, I had done my training. And there was something called as a sculpt, body sculpt. All these are working on the improving the metabolism as well as the lean muscle mass for athletes. Need not be only a runner, can be a biker, cyclist, or can be any other rowing sport or running, any other sport. Then along with that, when the running scene happened, or when I got into running per se, so I started learning on all the aspects of running as well as learning on coaching part also. Plus, there were certain things like my official training, like release of, it's like a poor man's massage. In short, in verbatim, I can say it's like a my official
Correct.
release is something called as a poor man's massage. We just have a tool, roller, and with the help of that, so we can't be going into getting a professional massage done like every week or every or second week. It's quite expensive. So these things were all like to be incorporated in the running entire like gamut of running, I would say. So what I did, when we started, we made it into broke it down into a week. So 2 days of strength training, which is required for strengthening yourself so that you remain injury free, as you are asking, so that you remain injury free. And 3 to 4 days of running, 1 day of an easy aerobic run, a short run, then we have a interval training, and then we have a long run. So how we further structure that was
Long
in
run.
short run, you are in a interval training, you are within a particular circuit. So you are within the eyesight of all of them. So everyone can see you where you can see everyone, because it's a short span, maybe 400 meters, 800 meters, whatever be the span. So people also don't lose the motivation. Even if they feel like they're stopping, they would see, okay, somebody is still on. So they continue. And then the long run. So what happens in the long run? We do about 6 kilometers, 10 kilometers, or if based on the training, if you're going to do a half marathon, slightly beyond also 14, 15. So the people may get lost. So what we did, we started clubbing people of the similar paces together. Okay, these two you run together, these two run together. So the motivation level was always intact. So number one, the most important thing is I always tell people be a, that is be available. Once you are available, ensure that you continue. So for the continuity to happen, short runs, yes, people see around, they are continuing their activity. But in a long run, you may get demotivated and stop at maybe 5 kilometers, then walk back or anything. It's still okay. But since if you're training for a half marathon or full marathon, you need to complete your training. So we always say that you do your training. The best part of any event is not the event actually. The event is to enjoy. The other part, the training is what we have to do
Is to
so
enjoy.
as to get into that enjoyment mode. So I ensure that this kind of a training happens, a structure in the training process was there, and so that people are able to enjoy the fruits of running and remain injury free. So something like what JBG Endura also is
Correct.
doing. So that's what like you have a curated program for each and every one, and you have professionals to take care of this. So this is what
Yes.
we actually need. The person who is
Correct.
running, fine. You only do your run. You have your program, your schedule. This is what you have to do this day, this day, this day. That's it. You worry about only your that part, because running always I say is to de-stress you, not to stress further. And many people have the thing of, okay, I've done a
Trust.
half marathon in 1 hour 50 minutes, so next year same time I should do 1 hour 49 minutes. No, it's not necessary. You can do it even 2 minutes less or even 1 minute more. It depends on your fitness level. So there is somebody to assess your fitness level, and the fitness level of a person always oscillates here and there for everyone, including me, you, everyone. It oscillates. So accordingly, so there is somebody to take care of it. If there is no one to take care of it, you do not know where do you stand. So you unnecessarily stress yourself. Running has to be stress free and then injury free. So for this, you need to have a structured program, bring in some kind of a professionalism in the training part. You
Yeah.
may also say, you may also definitely disagree also. Why we have to bring professionalism in the running? This is a enjoyment activity. Fine, it's an enjoyment activity. But professionalism in that training part, that's all. That is what we give. So we give you a training part,
Correct.
remain within a particular band. End of the day, you are going to enjoy it. And once you start ticking all your achievements, then you feel like even more better. And automatic. Then later on, it becomes an autopilot mode. After a certain level, yes, we find the particular person also is graduated to a level like they are on autopilot and they carry on. So the next set of people come. So we again
They are
train.
on
This is
option.
how. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hope I was able to
Yeah, Varun,
answer.
actually, yeah, taking a point from what you just said, I have also noticed a lot of people who start running, and considering the peer pressure. You said earlier that you should not take stress, you should make it a stressless exercise, not a stressful exercise.
Yes.
And a lot of people,
Yes.
I have seen them quickly graduate from 5 to 10 to 21 to 42, maybe within a period of 3 to 4 months. What eventually happens is they tend to wear themselves out. While their achievement might be good, they tend to wear themselves out, and eventually what happens is there is a breakdown in your body. So I think what you said is very correct. It has to be a running a marathon. Preparation for running a full marathon should be a marathon in itself. You cannot take a maybe a 10-day plan and then run a 42K. It's I think pretty impossible. Like you said, it's better to have a more structured and a drawn out plan and then focus on the plan. And like you very correctly said, half of the fun of running a full marathon is in preparing for it. So I think that's a that's
Training.
a that's a very valid point you made. I had one couple of more questions, before we wrap up. Wanted to talk a little bit about some of the large national events and some of the international events also that have come about. Standard Chartered Singapore Marathon, and even the Tata Mumbai Marathon and Airtel Delhi Half Marathon. So how do people from our city, people who have not pursued these runs or done these runs, uh, what is your suggestion to them? How should they go about preparing for these large runs where there are thousands and thousands of people? uh, any suggestions that you have as to how they should plan it out?
Okay. See, we'll take our own example of a Tata Mumbai Marathon. The earlier erstwhile SCMM it was called. Now it is called as the TMM. So it's the biggest marathon in the country in India. So for the half marathon, the biggest event is the ADHM, Airtel Delhi Half Marathon, and for the
Hmm.
full marathon, we call it as marathon as the TMM. So the TMM has about say 45,000 people, of which of which about 25,000 people run the half marathon. Then I think about close to 8,000 to 10,000 run the full marathon. Then the remaining are in the other categories of 10K and others. So anybody who wants to run a marathon, it's like the mecca of running. Like get a tick at TMM, try for TMM, and TMM registration starts almost 6-7 months ahead. You need at least 16 weeks to 20
Hmm.
weeks to prepare for a full marathon. Maybe for a half marathon, you would require much lesser, 12 weeks, fine. But for a full marathon, you need 16 weeks. Hence, the registration process also starts. Somebody may also ask, no, why they are registering, asking us to register so early, why the companies are taking the money for registration and so early and keeping it blocked. So it's not about that. It's a commitment to yourself. So for you, I can give you my own example. Like I was doing a lot of half marathons and started enjoying it when you're doing it at 150, 149, like trying to reduce time each and every time. So it's good. But full marathon, I never tried it because they say minimum 4 hours it will take and you may. Then I also thought 4 hours, you need to keep running. It's going to be damn difficult. So one fine day when the Tata Mumbai Marathon registration was there, I was a little bit, I missed out on registering for the half marathon. So when I went a month later, the half marathon was sold out and there was only full marathon. And this was in August. The marathon is in January. So then I told I have to somehow get into,
Yeah.
I want to at least get into Tata Mumbai half marathon, Tata Mumbai. So whether it is a half or full, let's see. But then I had no other option. I called them, they told no, you have to only register for the full. Then just because a few of my friends also registered. So I told even I also registered. So by default, I had to train for it. So it took to train from August all the way to January 2nd week or the 3rd week. Normally, it's January 3rd Sunday or the 2nd Sunday is the full marathon. So it took almost 4 months, 4.5 months to train for it, 16 to 18, 20 weeks. The process was a little bit tough, I would say, but yes, enjoyable towards the end. And when you really run the full marathon, that's when you feel that, okay, yes, it's a totally different feeling. You run close to 4 hours or 4 hours, 4.5 hours, whatever it is. But that process of completely training for a full marathon makes up future targets easier for you. That big stumbling block is no longer there in your mind. Plus, we would be running training with about 10 people, 15 people, 20 people. There you can see running, say, for example, a half marathon is 25,000 people. So you will come to know how to weave through a crowd or how to go around certain dynamics. You cannot push a person. You maybe have to just tap a person, not say a word. Somebody must be having a headphone. Then you can't even tell them, excuse me. So many things you will start learning only when you run with a huge crowd. So with 25,000 people, you will come to know how from behind. There'll be several blocks, A block, B block, C block, several groups. So suppose you are in F group, and you are trying to wade yourself ahead. You are being a little bit fast. There is a way how to get in. You cannot elbow a person. You cannot. There are certain things we have to do. So all that you will come to learn through experience. Similarly, in a full marathon. And in a full marathon, what happens after the 30th kilometer? They say the 20th mile. Yes, the life starts at 20th mile. So whether you break, it's a wall. Whether you break down or don't break down, and then you cross it, it's cross over it. It's a lot of internal challenge. It's the reason we train about to 5 months because a lot of mindset training also happens during the process. This is the Indian scene. So anybody in
Absolutely.
Calcutta or in our place here wants to run, they should first look at getting into an ADHM after doing obviously the local events. Try to register for an Airtel Delhi half marathon, then a Calcutta, then a Mumbai full marathon. Once you're through, the nearest ones, the Standard Chartered, as you told, the Standard Chartered Singapore Marathon, it's one of biggest events. Close to about 20 to 30,000 full marathoners run there. So that's another big challenge. When full marathon is 30,000, many of the streets are small. Some streets are pretty small. So how you actually
Yeah.
you adjust your pace, you learn a lot of things. Sometimes you have to curtail your pace and then pick it up and keep some energy stored, and it becomes hot. And on the flyovers, you are running against the sun sometimes. So it's a lot of different challenges which you will come across. So that's
Mm.
another thing which you can participate. So it comes again similar to the Tata Mumbai Marathon. It also comes online. You need to register and go. Once you do a little bit these marathons, then you can start moving into the world marathon scenes also. Like you have the big six, the Berlin, Tokyo, London, Boston, New York, Chicago. These are the big six. So then you can start getting into that scene where 40,000 runners run only the full marathon. 40 to 50 more for a New York marathon, 50,000 people run. So it's an experience itself. You have to take a bus or something, then take a ferry, then from there take another bus, and then wait at a place for a couple of hours. This itself would have taken you or costed you 4.5 hours, 5 hours. Then your marathon starts. So you need to bring in a lot of resilience and bring a lot of courage as well as apart from all the training. So all this makes you as a complete runner, not just okay. We run, we start okay. Come out, we host start a run. These runs, yes, we have done home runs, but when you slowly graduate and move into international run, this is what you need to learn as well. So definitely it's open for everyone. People can definitely participate in that and run. And even for somebody who wants to participate in a New York marathon also, there's even take the half marathon timing. So the rules are there. Even if you're for somebody in the age group of 40 to 45, your half marathon timings are in the 1:30. There are people in Calcutta who are doing it at that particular timing. You can also participate, give a shot
True.
at
Very true. Very true.
world marathons.
Yeah. No, I think,
So
yeah, that's very interesting. I think the idea that we wanted to bring about is that, international runs are really phenomenal. Whoever can do it should do. But then, like you said, TMM, ADHM, even the Bengaluru 10K done by Procam. I think they are very, very prestigious runs. And I just wanted the last question, all this while in Calcutta, we have participated in runs organized by different parties who are coming in from outside. But today, we have got homegrown, so many homegrown runs. I wanted to know your thoughts about, how do you think this corporatization, say, the way JBG Endura 101 has been associated with running and other sports. How do you think that will help? Because it's very important that more and more corporates get involved. And I think JBG, they are one of the pioneers in, supporting the movement of running and other sports in Calcutta. So do you see that this will further, more and more corporates should jump onto this bandwagon, homegrown corporates in Calcutta?
See, there are, end of the day, any corporate also would have started from some local place, right? For example, somebody, a Bangalore-based outfit or a Mumbai-based outfit, they must have done certain runs in their home places. Then corporatization happens and they would like to see it on a pan-India level. And that's how further growth has happened. Here, JPG is again a homegrown outfit of Calcutta. So now we see over the last 3-4 years or even 5 years, we've been seeing always it happens 1 week before the TMM. So JPG's runs, like the trail run, it has taken people from a few hundreds to thousands and thousands participating. And not only in Calcutta, now they're doing it in entire other places of West Bengal. So in Darjeeling and other places as well. Being part of the Calcutta, like it has got one additional affinity. We always share a little bit additional affinity towards JBG. So we can give all the support which is required for it to corporatize and come on a larger level, national pan-India level as well. There is no rule which says no. So all the more chances are there for JBG to corporatize itself and become on a larger front. Apart from the various activities which JBG is doing, hiring a lot of people with technical expertise on many fronts of fitness. I'm seeing there is some Zumba instructor. So somebody wants to go to Zumba, okay, contact them, and there is a Zumba instructor, maybe online, offline, whatever you want to get it. So similarly, somebody wants some kind of a strength training. Okay, again, there is somebody who from JBG who's helping. So this we are seeing, which is a very good kind of activity or action that is taken by JBG in this part of the city, and I think it is going to definitely benefit a lot of people out here.
Correct.
It's like saying, like even if we have a small toothache or some eye, or if it has to be operated, you don't go to somebody who has just completed his MBBS or he just completed his dentist. You try to go for somebody who's a master in that or who has experience. Right. So similarly, when there are experienced people, go to the experience. So they would have at least gone through the wheel once. You need not have to reinvent the wheel. So that's the whole thing. And not to discourage the people who are coming in new. People who are coming in new, obviously, they will second themselves under the experience of ages of somebody else and then further grow up. So I feel that JBG can really come to a higher level and in fact, like, corporatize itself in trail runs or like consider itself to be like trail runs all over the country, not only in Calcutta, can be somewhere even as far as Surat. Why not only Calcutta? Why keep your horizons out here? Keep moving. So
fantastic.
that's what.
So yeah, I think thank you so much. What was slated to be 15, we've taken about half an hour, but it's been a very, very interesting session, Vernon. Thank you so much for sharing all your insights, your history, and all your thoughts. I think it will help to motivate and give a lot of structure to the minds of a lot of people who watch this video live, and probably, they'll have friends, they'll go and tell their friends about it. So I think thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to chat with you after a long time. And really, thank you so much. On behalf of everyone from JBG Family Sportage, thank you for being with us today.
Great, Premjit. Thanks a lot. You've been doing really well on the cycling circuit. I've been seeing you. You've also really literally narrowed your girth. In fact, excellent. Very good. Good going. And thanks to JBG and you. And all the people who have come to see you.
Thank you so much. Thanks. Bye. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. I'm ending the live.